Okay, good morning, guys. Sorry about my screen. For some reason, I'm missing the top. Where are we? I'm missing the top of it. I don't know why. I was changing some things earlier and I couldn't seem to figure out. I've been messing around with it, so I've just had to come on as it is. I'll have to figure it out later. So, hey, Ramwolf, how you doing, buddy? So, yeah, for some reason, I don't know what I've done. So I'll have to look into it when I'm finished, actually. It doesn't look terrible, does it? How you doing, buddy? Lalit, is it? Lalit, yeah. We had a chat the other day, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah, for some reason, I've just lost that top section of my screen. It doesn't matter how I adjust. If I click on the lock, it doesn't matter. I don't think I can do it when I'm... No. Hold on a sec. Display capture. If I unlock it, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't seem to make a difference for some reason. So I'm going to have to sort that out later. I'll have to redo it, I think. Stefan, how you doing, buddy? But it's okay. I think it looks okay. It's just the top section, so it's not the end of the world. Okay. I'll have a chat in a minute when we get a few more people in. I've got a plan to my trading, so I'm going to change a few things because I've been struggling lately. Hey Roger, I've been struggling with the losses. It's causing me to blow accounts, so I obviously need to do something. So I've got a plan, which I think is a good idea, and I think it'll work. When we get a few more people in, I'll talk about it. So what time is it now? Market officially opens in about an hour and 20 minutes. Just want to get a few people in. I had a quick chat to Nick online, and I said I've got a bit of a change of plan, so I just want to make sure he's in, just to see what his thoughts. He's helped me a few times. He's a bit of my go-to for a bit of a chat. Him and a guy called Marlon, who I tend to talk to, and they sort of a little bit of a what's the word? A little bit of a pick-me-up. That sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know why the screen's annoying me now. I don't know why the screen's doing that, but I've done something earlier. I'll just reset it and I'll sort it out, but I didn't have time at the moment. So yeah. Excuse me. I hope everyone is well. Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. It wasn't a bad day yesterday. Market did move a bit, so that's one thing. Let me just get this out of the way. Just going to bring this in. Take the lock off it. Let's put it there. So hopefully it shouldn't be in the way. Somehow it's still there, isn't it? See what happens anyway. But that's just yesterday's highs I marked. So okay, market actually officially opens now. So not a massive amount of price action this morning, but it's going sideways. So that's probably got a lot to do with it. So let's give it about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll get a few people on the stream, and I'll talk about my plan to change and maybe something. Maybe it might help any of you guys that are struggling. So not a great deal. We've had a little bit of sideways, a push down, and it's been sideways ever since. So not a huge amount going on, but let's put that like that, and that I will say is probably a breakout. Let's put it to there actually. It fits relatively nice. Touch a couple of times there, touch there. It's a little bit lower there, but I'd say it's something in the region of that. Let's just change the color a little bit. Okay. Hamida, how you doing? Hi all. With this narrow range market, prepare us in advance for a couple of board hours. Yeah, you're probably right, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, it does seem to be something we've got to suffer quite a lot lately, which is a bit of a pain, isn't it? But I suppose that's all part of it, isn't it? So, okay, so are you here yet, Nick, are you? Because I did mention I've got something to tell you. I think everyone may be waiting for this rocket to launch. You think it would be at some point, wouldn't you? But you just can't trade that. It's impossible. What is it? In fact, it's actually bigger than it looks. It's probably about 4 points from top to bottom, but you ain't got much room for that. Oh, actually, no, 6 points from top room to bottom, but it's still not a lot of room to maneuver, isn't it? That's a bit better. So, yeah. So, hey, Coco, how you doing? Hamidir. I've got to get that right. Harmander. I hope I've got that right. I hope I haven't murdered it. I apologise if I have. Harjit, I know that one. Roger, Stefan, Lalit, and Ramwolf. That's all we got talking at the moment. Just check Nick's in the background because I did mention I've got a bit of a change and a bit of a plan to try and help my trading. So let's just make sure he's here. And then I will explain. So yeah, market's open, but not doing a lot at the moment. It's clearly going sideways. So I think Max says when it does correct, it tends to take so long. Is it an hour or something? I don't know. It's taking longer than that for starters. So we'll see how we get on. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'll sort my screen out later. For some reason, I'm missing about half an inch of the top, and I'm not quite sure why. Clearly done something. Are you there yet, Nick? Made a new account because I didn't want my full name. Okay. So, new account. I'm in the YouTube. Made a new account. Okay, I got you, but you can still listen. Okay. Right, okay. There's something I've heard throughout my whole trading career that I've tended to block. Probably because I think I know better when I clearly don't. Now, I did a bit of research last night and I watched a bunch of videos. And I also watched that. What's the guy? What's his name? Vince. Yeah. His name's Vince. And he was the guy that drew $800,000 out of Apex. And I listened to him again. And one thing he was told which helped him was everyone tries to get too big too quick. I think OBS, I think you need to press Alt at the same time as grabbing the yellow border. Okay, let me just quickly try it. Let's take the thing off there. I think I've done that. Alt, let's have a look. Okay, right, so it brings the top in, but takes the bottom out. Okay, so let's get the top in. Now let's try the bottom. I can't seem to get either one in. Let's get the top in. I think that's more important, isn't it? Is that any better? I'm missing the bottom now. Oh, good grief. Let's have a look. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay. I'll tell you what. It's that black bottom border, isn't it? Black bottom band. Okay. For some reason I'm getting a black bit here. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's just for now. I'm making a right ash of this, aren't I? Okay. That's near. Oh, get off, will you? Sorry about this. That's a bit better, isn't it? Just missing the bottom. Okay. And I'll get away with you. There we go. And I'll just do the side. I think that might do it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, better. I'll have a fiddle with it later. I won't go any more, otherwise I'll end up spending most of the time messing around. Okay. Plan. I listened to that Vince. Hey Sam, how you doing? Hey Hugh, how you doing? Perfect, almost. Yeah, I'll fiddle it with it later. I'll have a press. I pretty much know what it is. Okay, I listened to Vince, and Vince said one thing he was told that helped him was reduce your risk. And I have gone with two contracts consistently throughout my trading, whether it be PA or whether it be... Now, the only the trouble with that, you haven't got much room to maneuver. 6 to 7 trades and your account's gone. So what I've decided to do is I've got 3 evaluations. Now, I don't have any problem with passing evaluations. It's when I get onto PA account. And the evaluations I have blown lately are the ones that have been copied from a PA account. So 3 evaluations. I don't have an issue with passing them. So I'll go on to 3 PAs. Now, what I'll do, I'll trade one of the PAs on the normal 2 contracts, and the other 2 I'll reduce down to 1 contract. And what I'll do with the PA with the 2 contracts, I'll trade it on one day with one of the other PAs on a 1 contract. So and then the following day I'll swap over and I'll do the same, but with the other single contract one. So I hope that makes sense. Let's call them 1, 2, and 3. Account 1, 2 contract risk. Account 2 and 3, 1 contract risk. So I'll trade account 1 with the 2 contract risk with one of the 1 contract risk, if that makes sense. I hope it does. I probably haven't explained it very well. That way, I haven't got all my eggs in one basket. Now, the beauty about only having 1 contract is you can lose 12, 13 trades in a row before you lose your account. So it reduces that risk dramatically. So I'm still keeping one of them where I'm going for the standard 2 because I like the idea of trying to get up and out of that safety zone quicker. And if I lose 1 trade, then I'll swap over onto one of the others with a single contract. So the most I'll lose if I have 2 losses a day is 1 loss on each of the single contract accounts. So that should take away that pressure that I feel when I'm trading. The trouble is, if you have too much risk, you feel too much pressure, it adds too much and it enhances those emotions. So if you reduce the risk, that should hopefully help me. So if that makes sense, so I'll trade 2 accounts at once, whereas I'll have another spare, so I'll trade 2 accounts one day, 2 accounts the following day, but I'll alternate days trading the single contract one. So at least then I've got a big buffer, a big cushion, and reduce risk. So I shouldn't feel that enhanced pressure when I take a loss that does me the damage. So I hope that makes sense as I go along. But some of you may not be interested, and I get it. But everything I've read, people say everyone tries to trade too much, too quick, too much risk. And they end up blowing accounts because it is such a lot of pressure. You lose six accounts, 6 trades on 2 contracts, and your account's more or less gone. You lose 3 trades and you've lost 50% of your capital. And basically, it's almost like you're in semi-suicide mode, aren't you? So realistically, if I lose 2 contracts a day on a single contract risk, I've lost a maximum of about $300. Now that is a lot less than losing $600 to $700. You know what I mean? Which is 25% of my capital, and that's the problem. So everything I've read lately, reduce the risk, makes a difference, and that's the one thing I've avoided because I've been too greedy, trying to grow too fast, too quick. And I've never gone down to 1 contract, but if you reduce your risk by half straight away, that has to have an effect on you. So that's the plan. So I hope I've made sense. If I haven't, just let me know. It's not perfectly clear, but there it is anyway. So yeah, I'll keep the 1 with the 2 contracts, and I'll have 2 separate PAs with a single contract risk on each. And the single PA ones, I'll trade one day, one the next. and the 2 contract risk, I'll trade every day with one of these single contracts. That way I've got the extra risk on the 2 contracts, but the ones with a single, I've got 2 cushions either side of me. So if something did go wrong, I've got, you know, a couple of cushions. So hopefully that may take the sting out the tail. But I'm starting to realise everything I'm reading is pointing me towards reducing my risk. And it's something because I've probably been a bit too greedy, and I've probably done something a lot of traders do and try and grow too quick. And it's clearly not working. The pressure I feel when having one PA account and just trading 2 contracts is too much, and it's causing me to make mistakes. So I have to trade. I only trade 1% of my account, maximum 2. Yeah, do you know what? When I learned to trade currency, 1 to 2 point, on average, 2% risk. The trouble is, our drawdown is $2,500, so it's like having $2,500 worth of capital. So if you trade, 10% of that is $250, 1% is $25, even 2%, you're risking $50. That would take you onto the micros. Now that could take you, that could take you months and months and months to get out that safety zone. And the trouble is, you spend 3 or 4 months getting up to a couple of $1,000s, you make a mistake, and it's very easy. So if you're trading this right, you shouldn't really lose more than 2 or 3 trades in a row. If you are, you're clearly reading something wrong, because it's obviously a high probability strategy. So if I reduce down to 1 contract, theoretically, I'm allowing myself about 13 trades in a row to fail. What I don't want to do is go to micros and trade something like, 3 or 4 micros, because it can take you forever. So that I don't want to do, but I've literally now reduced my risk by half on a couple of accounts. So I have a nice cushion now. So if you get, I'm used to the $350 losses. So my losses now will go down to $175, which is doable. And also what I'm going to try and do is have a little bit of confidence to let my trades ride a bit. Because I would say 80% of my trades make 4, 5, and 6 points plus, maybe a little bit more. So I'm just going to try and have the confidence to let them ride a bit. The trouble is, when you're risking 2 contracts, it's hard to have the confidence to let them breathe a little bit. But if you do, they do move. So if I look back on my charts and I look at all my trades, I would say probably 85% of them make 5 to 6 points or more. And a lot of the times, because I'm trading too high, I come out at 2 points because I panic. So if I'm reducing the risk by half, theoretically, I can allow myself to let them ride a bit more and make the same sort of profit. Max spoke about risk-reward strategy yesterday. I'd never watched Max. I thought he was sort of off ill at the moment, so I'll have to go and have a look. But yeah, I'm reducing it on the 2 to 1 single, on the 2 accounts to 1 single contract. I have to do something. It's the one thing I've always avoided because I've been too greedy. But I mean, even Max says, and I've heard him talking about before, you can start on $2,500 and just trade 1 contract. Which is what you're doing on a $50,000 account. $50,000 is irrelevant. It's not a $50,000 account. What it is a $2,000 account, because that's all you've got to risk. You lose $2,500, the account's gone. So they call it a $50,000 account. It's completely irrelevant. But the beauty is, if I'm panicking because I'm trading too high, I'm coming out at 2 points. Whereas I can reduce the risk by 50%, let them ride a bit more, and still make the same amount of profit. So there we go. Anyway, I did look at this. We've got 1 push down, 2 push down, but seem to be pushing up. But I didn't like to take that. So, but that's it in a nutshell. Anyway, so I'll see how it goes. But just the fact that I'm reducing, not on the evaluations, because they don't stress me out, the evaluations. I can, lost a couple yesterday and I was perfectly fine. I don't feel the need and panic that I do. It's only on, which I used to. My neck used to be that stiff when I was in a trade. It was unbelievable. I felt like I couldn't breathe, but it doesn't affect me now. So I am getting used to the emotional side to a degree, which you have on an evaluation, but now the evaluations doesn't bother me because I'm spending more time trading PA accounts. Now I'm hoping it goes, it stands to reason that at some point the PA accounts won't have the same sort of effect. So there you go. So that's it there. So let me just have a look at this. Yeah, I quite like that one. You could say there, and then we've had a break, but we've continued higher again. We've continued on again. So there you go. That's it. So hey, Indy, how you doing? So I'll take my time, see how I get on. Okay. Let me just be careful here because this could be just like that. We've had a break and a few pushes up, and we might be coming back into the range. I don't think we will, but I have to keep it aware that it is possible. Last thing I want to be doing is going long and getting trapped. But we have had some sideways movement, and now we do seem to be pushing up. So touched here, touched here, touched here. I mean, it is possible there could be like a bit of a spike and a channel there. That's possible. Possible. We've pushed up. Let's see if we can get a second entry long off here. Retest this top. See what happens. SW Blaze, how you doing? Hey Jonathan, how you doing, buddy? Morning from Chicago. Okay, push down. Gotta be careful not to get trapped here. So yeah, I like the plan. I feel more relaxed just thinking about only trading one contract on a couple of them. So I think it'll make the difference. It's the one thing I've avoided because I've just been too greedy. And like I've read so many times, people try and grow too big too quickly. And the trouble is you lose six trades, your account's as good as gone, and that's not a lot to lose. You have a bad day, you lose one, you lose another one quickly after. Straight away your headspace is a little bit on the rough side. Well, you've lost a third of your capital there straight away. Another loss on top of that, it's more or less 50% of your capital gone. Now there's a good chance you might not recover from that. Okay, looked like some form of a hidden second entry long, but I didn't like the bar. I'd have preferred it to be down here a little bit further, but there we go. Yeah, see, Stefan, what I'm going to do is the two PA accounts with one contract, I'll only trade one at a time. So I'll never lose more than one trade on each of the accounts per day, which is a maximum of around about $150. So I'm used to trading two contracts and to take a loss of about $350. So when my losses will be reduced for half, they shouldn't have nowhere near the same effect. Okay, so let me just check. There's two options here. We've made a measured leg and we're coming higher, or we're moving back in. Now we've passed a measured leg, so this could be trying to go once, trying to go twice, could be a failure coming down. So I don't want to get into a trade here. It's too risky. Might be coming down, but it could be going up. This might just be coming in and maybe retesting this middle section and then pushing higher. My target's a 4142. Are you down here, are you? We've had a breakout of this thing anyway. the range that is. But I don't know. Try and go once, try and go twice. After we've had this push down sideways, it's hard to know what we're going to do. Could be a leg and another leg, or who knows. See, there is a second entry long there, which is triggered. So, see what happens. One thing I have got better at lately is avoiding traps. I am aware times like this that it could be going up or it could be coming down. You naturally think we're having a break and we're going higher. So you may get in there, the second entry long, it might trigger you, come down. So I try to give it the option to trap, to set a trap before I jump in. I'm in. It should be a fail. Yeah, see. See, you're going, is second entry long there, so there is a failure, but it hasn't triggered yet, unless you're thinking of coming from this side. Certainly looks like it's going to go up, but it's just, it looks a little bit unpredictable to me. So it might go up, or it might come down. But if you're in there, you're in a second entry long, you're in this trade now, so it triangle once, triangle twice, that's a fail. If it triggers below there, it will trigger the failure. But if you're in a second entry long, you're still in there, so it could come down and trigger, but then it could go higher, so you might get trapped coming down. So triangle once, triangle twice. Yeah, it's a little bit congested there, which is, so I'm deciding to leave whatever there. I'll let that sort itself out. Triangle once, triangle twice. It is a failure which has been triggered. So if it pushes down there, actually I kind of like that.
Order submitted.
See, if it finishes really bearish, I kind of like that. Not a fan of that now. What I want it to do, see, is to push down there. Well, it might trigger me, come to here and push up higher. But it's sort of pushed through and we've retested this a couple of times and let's stay out.
Order cancelled.
It's not a very confident looking trade. News in 5 minutes. Yeah, medium impact news never tends to play much of a part. Up until recently, I never had the medium impact news. A couple of more experienced traders, I think Dan and a couple of others, I think told me that they just have the high impact news on the chart. I wouldn't swear to that, but yeah, it's a little bit congested, isn't it? We've had this push out. Well, usually when we have a channel, it's definitely a channel of some form. We have a break and a new high, but not always if we're in a range. And you could say that was the rate, the channel. We've had a break and a new high, so it still could come back in. Yeah, I'd say there's more likely a short there because it looks like it might. See, a lot of people might be trading that thinking second entry long after we've had a break. So yeah, that didn't turn out too bad. Whether it'll come far enough down to make it worth your while, I don't know. Because it could be one push down, two push down, and then move higher. So it's just a little bit unclear to me. It's pushed below that possible second entry long, the stop, but it hasn't come down. We'll see. See, could really just be something like that. I mean, that's certainly a little channel, isn't it? You could say it's a bit of a spiking channel, but who knows? Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy? How you getting on, Sam? How you finding things at the moment? Not easy lately, is it? I put an uptrend from the break of the range bottom. How you put one from there? Let's have a look. No, definitely not. It just doesn't look right at all, that. I mean, you could say it fits, but the tops don't, and it just doesn't look right at all. Sometimes you can just tell it just doesn't work. So, I mean, really, you can make trades fit anywhere, really. That's the trouble. I mean, you could say there's one here. You know what I mean? No, it just doesn't work. Hope to get a trade review video up this week. All good. Back trading today on my 2 evals. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, mate. Well, I've got 3 evals at the moment. I've just changed my plan. I don't know if you were listening, Sam, but I can pass evals pretty easily now. I don't find them stressful. I'm used to the losses in evaluations, so it's obviously when you move on to a PA, there's a little bit extra risk, a little bit more to gain and lose. So what I've decided to do was to do three evaluations, 3 PA accounts, trade one at my usual 2 contract and bring the other ones down to 1 contract and just trade 2 of the accounts per day. So the 2 contract one I'm going to trade every day, and the single 1 contract ones, I'll alternate them 1 per day, one day, one the next, and reducing the risk down to 1 single contract on those should reduce any losses. Okay, possible second entry short here. Once, twice we've confirmed. Could be a second entry short. It's confirmed this. It's not the most amazing looking one, but I believe it's a
order submitted.
See what happens. See, I don't tend to pay too much attention to this, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but okay, a little bit higher and then come down bearish. 1, 2, 3. Signal bar's naff anyway. Okay.
Order cancelled.
Does look like a channel. I'd expect that to come down. Yeah, it's a shame that wasn't a bit bearish, because I'd have taken that. That would have been a nice little second entry short there. I mean, we've come from the highs, we've touched. Lowers, lower lows, lower lows, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Clearly a range, a channel. It's quite an early on channel, but it's a channel nonetheless. And if you'd have taken that, it wasn't bearish as it is, but you'd have got a few points out of that, I think, if it was bearish. It wasn't, obviously, but yeah, you'd have squeezed 2.75 points. Because we've broken out the top, we may come out the bottom a bit, or it could be a bunch of things. It could be a leg down here, maybe the start of another leg. Who knows? Yeah, you mentioned that. Did you see the number of trades that Mac marked yesterday? I didn't watch him actually. I thought he was off at the moment. See, I've heard he's out and having some more treatment with his cancer or something, or so. But I'm guessing it was about what 20. The thing is, after a day, after you look at the charts, it's very easy to pick a lot more trades. But let's say, yeah, sounds like a good plan, Lance. Trading evals feels easy. Easy, not feels easy. I read that right. Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Trading evals feels easy. Not, doesn't it? Feels easy. Yeah. I don't feel stressed when I take a loss with an evaluation now. Because it's one up from a demo, but it's not a live account, is it? It's not where you're going to make any money, really. So, Macas, yeah, I know he's had part of the top part of his, isn't it? Is his right ear moved or something? Okay, so that if that was bearish, it came down, broke the lows anyway, but we've pushed out. So yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's more of just a procedure than he unfortunately does, but seems to have it under control. Yeah, I don't think it's major life threatening. I don't think. He's had that bit of his ear removed, isn't he? So obviously the cancer's just in the top of his ear. Let's have a look. Damn thing is that? Oh, he's Dan. I thought he's saying damn thing is Stephen. I thought he said Dan. Yeah, he posted a picture, didn't he, on the forum? And Nick sent me a picture of it, but he only said he sent me it because there he is. My bars are a lot different. Let's have a look. These are the bars of a professional trader, mate. That might be why. Let's have a look. Let's change this. Update it. Yeah, it's amazing how different they are. I wonder if the lag has anything to do with it. Let's let this load. Let me know if this is any better. Right, tell me that if that's any better, Nick. If it isn't, I'll change my lag. Clear my lag. Have a look. Okay, so we've got this little channel here, haven't we? I'll do the lag anyway. Sync. That should sort that out. Take it away from red. There we go. So that might update it a bit. Is that any better, mate? Is it? Okay, trend channel. We've had a break. You'd expect a new low. We've had a breakout from here, so I'll probably expect it to touch the bottom, if not break out a little bit. We'll see. Interesting. Might be you. Hey, Angela, how are you? Where is he? Is he with you somewhere? Or is it his turn for a lion this morning, is it? I'll tell you what, since I've changed the lag, Nick, I'll just reload that historic again, see if it helps. Is it his turn for a lion, Angela, is it? Or is he about somewhere? He's usually a bit slower than you, isn't he? Does that work? We'd update it. Okay, see if that's any better. There he is. How are you, mate? Okay, so we've had this channel and we've had a break of it. Trying to go home once, and let's see. 54s. 54s. You're on 54 now, aren't you? Oh, not quite. Excellent, thanks. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm fine, I am. I'm okay. I recover from lost P accounts pretty quickly. Probably about 2 years of practice, that's why. Let's have a look. Have a look. Yeah, yours is a little bit different, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So that's the frustrating thing. Nick's just sent me a picture of his chart. That second entry that I looked at that had a NAF signal bar, it's a bearish pin bar on his. So that's the frustrating thing sometimes, isn't it? Second entry long, yeah. Do you know, the only difference I will know, some look bearish like a full bar, others look like a bearish pin bar. So giving you the same indication, but just slightly differently. Bought a boatload of accounts today using... Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Angela. You don't have to do that, but I appreciate it when you do. So thank you. They're cheap at the moment, isn't it? I got a couple yesterday, or another one yesterday to add with my two. They are cheap at the moment. So yeah, it finishes today, but I won't be surprised. Okay, right. Perfect second entry. One leg. I won't be surprised if they come down again soon, but they don't often do the 90%. It's usually the 80%, which is still not too bad. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Leg, break, leg. I took one of these yesterday. The Whatsit does a lot of these, and we're sort of retesting these highs after a break. So if we get a small bar, I might drop a short in here and leg, break, leg. See how this ends up. It's only 6 ticks at the minute.
Order submitted.
I can't see how there's any type of a bigger trend there. It hasn't worked out anyway, so let's bin it.
Order cancelled.
This leg, break, leg. He does a lot of those, and I did one yesterday. We had something like this: leg, break, leg. Relatively bullish, but nothing, and it went up. So sorry, what was I saying? Final day today, guys. Apex sale for about a week. Yeah. Trouble is, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't paid. I think they have it on the 50% all the time. I haven't paid 50% now for 4, 5, 6 months. So, and Sam will know when you have an affiliate code, you know how many they sell by how many you get compared to the normal price, compared to the discounted price. When it gets at 50%, you don't sell many of them. You sell a few, but not many. But when you get to the discounted price, it goes up, I don't know, 8 to 10-fold. So, and Sam will agree with that. So I can't see. They must be selling, I would say, 5, 6, 7 times more when they're on the discount. And another thing they've got going from on the discount is people take a lot more risks when you're only paying $30, $33. You'll take a risk. If you take a couple of losses and you think, damn, you'll take a risk. If it works, you'll pass your evaluation. If it doesn't work, you've got to pay another $33, which is not the end of the world. So they will sell way more and make more money. I think it's pretty... Yeah, it still doesn't look right, that. They'll definitely sell way more. So, yeah, exactly. So I'll be shocked if they don't say, we're the first people to do 80% off everything constantly, consistently from now. I wouldn't be shocked if they do that at all. I mean, they may not. They may reserve the option to go back. But if they don't do that, then they'll just continue to have the 80% off because they sell way more. But thanks, Angela. I appreciate that. Yeah, you don't get many sales at the 50% off now, and I don't blame them because I don't pay 50% off. I'm never paying more than 8% again because we're used to paying $33 now. When it goes up to the normal price, even at half price, what, $77, $80? It's a little bit more to lose, that, isn't it? So you tend to try a bit harder. And you won't fail as many, so they won't sell as many. They won't sell as many anyway because of the price, so, and people don't fail as many. So that leads me to believe that they'll have some sort of dramatic change in the price and structure at some point. So I look, it sort of fits, but it just does not look like a normal channel to me. It's messy. So what I don't want to do is be, you know, along that type of thinking that we're definitely going up because we're in an uptrend. I'd rather deal with each individual uptrend. I think you're going to do less damage. Have you ever considered doing an aggressive eval on a bigger contract account that you pass? Have you ever considered doing an aggressive eval on a bigger contract? So you want about like doing 5 or 10 contracts and passing it in 3 goes? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean? So like going up 5 or 10 contracts and trying to do it in 2 trades? Is that what you mean? $57.25. I couldn't go long there. It looks like we're going up, but like doing 300. Oh, I see what you mean. Like doing a 300k val account. I haven't, mate, and I'll tell you why. You've got to make $20,000. And scaling to 1 contract when you get the PA. So you mean doing 1 contract on a $300,000 account? Oh, I see what you mean. The bit that puts me off it, mate, is you got to make $20,000. That just seems like a big number. I much prefer to make $3,000. What I do occasionally is, or what I have done is done 10 contracts and done 2 trades. You've got to get 3.25 points twice. That will pass you the account. And it may take you 2 or 3 to do it, but I just tend to do it. I do like the $50,000 account, but I know what you're saying. But the thought of making $20,000, and the thing about that as well is your one-time fee is $140 for a PA account of $50,000. It goes up quite a bit, doesn't it, for the 300,000? But I know what you mean. You effectively got 3 times with the drawdown. So even if you went for 3 contracts, it'd be like doing 1 contract on a $50,000, wouldn't it? It's just the $20,000 profit is the thing that puts me off. I did look at that one, but it's just uncomfortably far away from the EMA, especially as it was a failure. So we've had this big push down, a little bit of a correction, push up, come back in, haven't gone up as far, and then pushed out. So it does seem like now we are working up. Where will we go to? There was some congestion around here from yesterday, so it might stall a bit around here, but then likely then to push up around here or maybe to the top. Still doesn't feel like it's a channel at the moment. That, yeah, it may end up be if it continues up, but at the moment I don't really want to get stuck into thinking that we are definitely going up. I am trying to get a little bit into meditation as well. Something I've never really tried before, but I've been watching a few videos, and a lot of people say helps you tap into the bits of the mind, specifically the frontal lobe cortex. Does that make sense? I don't know. Frontal something cortex. I can't think of. I'm trying not to make a fool of myself. You probably know more about that, Nick. And it's supposed to help you have more control with your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts. So I think it can only aid trading. So if it's something that would help, I'm going to give it a go for sure. Okay, so we've got this channel working up. looks like we might get a break. Does look like we're moving up. No argument there. So if we can get a couple of legs down to this, consider maybe looking to go long. Touch, 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 touch. Clearly, channel. I'm doing one of these fasts today, where you don't eat anything or drink anything. Sorry, you don't eat anything for 36 hours. I started last night. So that's supposed to be good for the mind and self-control, so I thought I'd give that a go. So I haven't eaten today. Apparently I can eat what I want tomorrow. So I've got myself some bacon and eggs for tomorrow. I'm trying everything I can to help focus my mind. A bit of fasting, a bit of meditation. Christ, I'd have a lobotomy if I thought it would help. Woke up in the middle of the night, checked the London Open, almost shorted, but decided to make breakfast instead. Would have thrown myself in a window with only 3 feet from the ground. Sam, just turn the sound back on. Lance, you are speaking about the neurofrontal cortex. That was it, mate. I was just, I don't know about you, mate, but I've never done any meditation. I've just thought, mate, I don't know, it's for the tree huggers, isn't it? But the tree huggers and the carrot crunchers. But I was watching this guy earlier on this morning, this Indian guy talking about it's the single best thing you can do. This one of the single most important skills you can learn. So I looked into it a bit more, and apparently it can help you harness the power of the mind, get more control over things like anxiety and stress. And anxiety and stress are all part of trading. It's supposed to be very beneficial. So I thought, that's good enough for me. I'll do whatever it takes. So later on this evening, I've instructed my daughter and wife to give me 30 minutes, peace and quiet, and I'm going to find something on YouTube, something I can follow, meditation for beginners, and I'm going to practice it regularly every day and see how I get on. They say it can take a while, but as far as I'm concerned, trading is something I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm sick of going out and working hard for a living. I want some peace and quiet and something a bit easy. But if you told me years ago there's a job I can do where I can earn potentially massive rewards and work 3 hours a day, I'd have called you an idiot. But now I realise it. Hopefully we can get maybe a second entry. If we can come down here a little bit, I'll go with that. I like that. Clearly moving up. EMA's pointing up. Possible second entry along off here. But yeah, I want to do this job so bad. Yeah, Indian guy at my work goes on about it really helps. Supposed to, isn't it? It will clear their mind. I need help with a little bit of anxiety and a bit of stress, which is something we all feel when we're trading. And if you can control that and be more present, trouble is when things go wrong with trading, you go off on autopilot, don't you? And it's almost like someone else is trading. So if it gives me a little bit more self-control and a little bit more awareness when I'm trading, so I'm aware of what's going on and how I'm feeling, happy days if it helps me. Plus it'll teach me some skills to block out my wife. That's worth its weight in gold. Come back a bit, come on. There we go. Simple science. Well, sometimes these things are staring you in the face, aren't they? But so I've got two options: meditation and reduce risk. Okay, I prefer that to come down a little bit further. One leg, two leg, come down to about here. It's the frustrating sometimes. They just grab hold of it and buy, don't they? Does look like it's going to continue up, but it's just too risky. Okay, maybe we can get a one leg, two leg. if it's not giving us a second entry. But you can count from the bottoms as well, can't you? People think you can't. People think it's just the tops. The bottoms as well. Maybe trap a few shorts. New high, try go once, try twice. If this finishes bearish as triggers, we may get an option. JW could be 2 legs of correction and continue. Oh, downtrend, you think so? Possible. 1, 2. Let's see if there's a measured move there. If there is, it hasn't met it yet. We've come down, we've had a break, haven't we? We've retested it a bunch of times, pushed out, come back in to retest it a couple of times, haven't got down there and pushed up. So this, to me, if this finishes bullish, this is 2 legs. I know it might be technically a failure which is triggered, but if it ends up bullish and it comes up here,
order
I
submitted.
like this. 1 leg down, 2 legs down. If it finishes bullish, I'm just going to take this, because there's likely going to be some shorts in there. Push up, come on. And we have had a break of this channel. You expect to make a new high. So far, so good. Looking good. Looking for a break.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Okay, it's still in. As long as that goes up and finish bullish, it's still a second entry long. And if we have 2 finishing bullish, I'd say this. I think it stands to reason that if it's gone up, tried twice to go down and hasn't. Bullish enough. It looks like a measured leg to me. It's 8 ticks, that other one. So if I come in at the top, 1 extra tick at the bottom, it's 9. Is that gonna take us or not?
Order submitted.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. If we break above here, there'll be likely be some shorts in there, which are triggered. It came down once, came down twice, ended up finishing bullish on both of them. So once we get above here, okay, I'm confident now. Push up, came back, push up, came back a bit, 2 legs down. Let's have a look. Looked like a measured move, that, near enough. 1, 2, close enough. Definitely a second entry long, no argument. EMA still facing up. You'd expect to make a new high off this. We've clearly broken out, came back in and tried, but we didn't get down the bottoms and then we pushed up strongly. So I'd say this is going up to me. I think it's worth the risk. 5, it's only a 2.25 point maximum risk. What I will say is it's going a little bit congested now, but I still expect I've got the low point on both of these. So hopefully it will work its way up slowly. But I'm just gonna. I don't mind sitting through this sometimes when I'm on an evaluations. They don't affect me the same as PAs. Now we have had a channel clear channel. We've had a break. 2 pushes down. That finished bullish. That finished bullish. So I'm okay. If it turns on me, fine, but I still believed it to be a good trade. It's going a little bit sideways, but I think it'll right itself and end up going the right way. Zoom in. There we go. I don't like to zoom in too much. It scares me. I'm even taking my hand off the mouse. That's something. Just remembering what that gorilla said. Don't touch it. Don't touch your stop. Now, it might take us out. It may do. It's definitely possible. But I think it's more likely it's going up. It's a second entry long. So we've had this. This is a definite channel. We've had a break of the channel, and we've come down a couple of times. Now it does work in sideways a bit, but if you look, that one comes down the same length for this. This one has come down slightly higher, so it looks to me like it's still moving up. And I'm not concerned to get out of it. I believe it was an okay setup. Finished above the EMA. Yeah, it's possible that it could come down and take you out, but I accept the risk because I think it's okay. We've had this push up and out. We've came back in, a couple of legs back, 1 leg, 2 legs back, and then push straight out. So I think it's okay. Sometimes you just got to sit through some of this shit and just let it sort itself out. And once it starts to go, it'll go then. But sometimes you just got to have confidence. It's a second entry long. That was bullish straight off. That came down, pushed straight back up. This came down, pushed straight back up. This came down, pushed straight back up. So 1, 2, 3. If this is bullish, you could call it a triple tap. I don't know. It's just it's got like it's going up to me. The fact that we've had a break of the channel, you'd expect a new high, but you know I am aware that it could come down. But yeah, you sometimes if you believe in a trade, I took the trade because it was a second entry long. Well, it was. You've got that little, but we've had 1 push down, 2 pushes down, and twice it rejected it. So yeah, I mean it's 2.25. What is it? 2.25 risk. So it's not 2.25. It's not a massive risk in the grand scheme of things. $225. But I'd expect to at least make 1-to-1 on this. So many times I've panicked and got out. I got out one yesterday and lost a tick, and it ended up going right up. So sometimes you've got to let it sort itself out, but it's still looking like it's slowly going up. So once it gets so far, shorts will just give up then and buyers will just take over. But I am aware it could stop me out, and that's, you know, I'm starting to get used to the fact that I've just got to go with it. And if I take a trade, so many times I've got out of them, I got out of them early and they end up making more money. In the long run, I think you're better off sitting there and just going with it. So that's what I'm going to do. I've took my hand off the mouse and I'm just going to let it sort itself out. Once it gets a little bit higher, and certainly above here, things will ease off a little bit. Sounds like a professional. Yeah, my arse is shaking, mate. My knees are knocking. No, I've just... I act more like I should when I'm on an evaluation because there's less pressure. I might panic more and jump in now if I was on a PA account. But if you believe in a trade, the best thing to do is just to let the trade run out. And yeah, it can always stop you out. But usually, if we're in an uptrend and we're doing this, we're doing that, they'll sort themselves out. They'll do a little bit of to-in and fro-in. And you know, that's the way it is. But sometimes you're best just to be patient. Once we get above here, things will get a bit easier then. If people are trying to short, then there's probably some shorts in there. But you'd expect it to make a new high after this. And if it does make a new high, pressure to sell, it'll be off then. It'll be more about buying then and continuing higher. So you could say that's a failure. You could recount that, say it's a higher low or a possible failure. Once we get above here, pressure will come off then. But it is getting a bit congested, but it's getting congested with an upwardness if once we get above here, it'll get a bit easier. So I risk 2.25 points, so I've got to make sure I get that at least. So what I'm going to do now is just put it up to there, which takes the sting out of it. In fact, no, I'll put it up. Let's get it a break even. So we've had, okay, we've got one push up, one push up. Is this that news? Have we got news or not? So let's secure ourselves a bit anyway. So at least we've got a 1.5. Let's put it there. Push up, break, push up. Could go quite a bit higher. I know that the gorilla guys still have his back here, and he'd let it come back a bit and push higher. But I think the trade was okay. We've had a channel up here, one push. There's clearly two pushes down. Yeah. There's going to be a few shorts stuck in there, but sometimes they go sideways, but it's still going up as well as sideways. And a lot of times it'll do that, and I think it's a lot of it probably to scare you. But now let's see if any shorts are going to get stuck in here. In fact, I'm going to do the unthinkable here, and I'm going to put it back there. I'll tell you what, let's just leave. I want to give it some breathing room because it does look to me like we're moving up. And if I can secure myself a couple of days profit in one, I'll feel a lot better about that. So I'm not risking anything now. It's a risk-free trade. It does look like it's going up. It's going up, and it could continue to go up. So if I can get 5 or 6 points out of it, top of the range, yeah, it could come right up here, couldn't it? I just want to give it enough room. Once it pushes above there, any possible shorts, then I'll bring it up to there then. Once it gets above that red bar, there may be a few people short in that. I just don't want it to give us a lower high. I'm going to put it back there where it was. I'm going to put it back there. It's a little bit less risk from there, wasn't it? See what happens. Could be a second entry long off here again. It's got. It just looks to me like it's pushing up, and if it's going up, it'll continue to come up. It'll come back to the EMA and continue to go up. So I see that gorilla guy making so much money doing it this way. Yeah, it could stop you out, but look, what is it? 6. It's a 1.5 point risk now. It only takes one good trade to get you two or 3 days worth of money. So if I see it going up, there's no reason why it should continue to stop. There's nothing here really to slow it down. Once it gets up here, it'll get a bit, you know, it might slow down a bit, but I might as well just try and ride it up. See if I can get a bit more out of it. Once we get above these two bars here, there's probably going to be some shorts in there, which is triggered. We've come down, touched the EMA and pushed up. So if it gets above here, might take a few more stops out and then a few more. And there's no reason then for it to stop up until maybe about here. So now we've had that, just in case it does come down, let's just get a break even. Plus a point, because that's a failure then, isn't it? No, let's just leave it. But I'm going to put it where it originally was here. Now I might get battered, but it could have gone a lot higher. Failure there. Trouble is, a lot of times these failures get trapped because we're going up at the moment. What could I got to? 58.63 at 4 points, something like that. Okay, it looks like it might have shafted me, but look at this. If it does get above that lot, we're definitely coming up to here. Yeah, I can't see any type of channel anywhere, really. It just doesn't look right to me, that, for some reason. It just looks a bit messy. I mean, if that's the case, if it is that, that could come tumbling down to here, to the bottom of it, but it just doesn't look right to me. As we've come back here, we've had one leg, 2 legs back. It may even end up doing something like this. I don't know, possible. Who knows? Soon find out now whether it continues up or it keeps coming down, but definitely looks like it's coming down, doesn't it? That type of thing, yeah. Okay. Hopefully when it does this, it shouldn't get below the lows. They should continue to go up. I mean, this is the first break out of here, so it should be continuously higher. I know I'm taking a risk. But if you do this, and even if it works every other time, you risk, what, a couple of points and you get 6 or 8 points. It's still worth it. I'm risking 2.25 points. If you get 6.35 points out of it, if you do that once in 3 times, you'll make more than your money. It's going to be quite a lot of shorts in there. See, it's an attractive target that is to go up. We're coming up, aren't we? So yeah, it could be a couple of pushes up and then come down. It's possible. I don't think we got any type of legs here. Let's have a look. Up to there. Look at that. One leg, two leg. That might be a measured leg. Might be two legs out and more down. It's hard to say. No, I'm going to leave it there. I'm in the trade. To me, it's going up. We'll see. Trouble is, if this works one time in three, you've more than made your money back. Can't see any type of channel there. I don't like that for some reason. Let's say it is that. The highest it's going to go to is here, isn't it? It could come back here in that case. It just doesn't look right. You go off the first two swings, so it just doesn't look right to me. Okay, we got this low, then this low, then this low. Let's have a look. Opposite trades on, do we? God, I don't know what to do now. If I take $200 out of this, I'll look really good. If let's have a look. Let's hold it there. If it eats above that next red bar to the left, it'll push on up. It's trying to. I think it's going to push up strongly in a minute. It's going to eat through those two red bars. Trouble is, we're going up, so you don't really want to be going shorting. So taking this as taking the there and the failure, that's when you get trapped, isn't it? I'm just going to at least break even +1. Once it gets above here and then here, I think we'll push up then. At least I'm protecting myself if something does come down pretty quickly. Just finish bullish. Definitely pushing up. See how this finishes. Okay, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. We need to get above the next one. So let's just come up a little bit. There we go. That's a good sign. So I think we might get some strong movements in a minute. Keep going. It'll shoot in a minute, hopefully. Go on. There we go. Sometimes you just got to be patient, haven't you? Okay, it's free now, so let's leave it there. At least I'm guaranteeing myself something, aren't I? let's put it one tick under here. If it does come down any more, then, you know, it clearly wasn't meant to be, was it? Go on, push up. It's a higher low, isn't it? Okay. Let's put it back. Let's put it there. It does seem like it's still going up. We're getting higher highs and higher lows. Now I'm only risking 1.5 points. Now I don't want to be greedy, but I want to try, and this is what I want to try and do. There's clearly a trend going up there. Let's have a look. Is that like a spike in channel or something? Okay, I'll tell you what, let's put it there. So at least I've secured myself 1.25 points. Now, if it gets above this, I expect it to go higher. There's a bunch of congestion around there. Got to push up, a break. Okay. Let's put it there. 7. It does look like it's still going up. I don't want to jump in prematurely and rob myself of maybe $500-600. Once it gets above there. If we can get above here, I'll bring it back a little bit. Might have one leg, 2 legs. No, I'm going to bring it down. It does look like it's continuing up. That's the thing about stress. I don't really get stressed on the evaluations for some reason. Well, obviously because they're a lot less stressful than the PAs. It's the PAs that do me in. Thing is, you get like $600 here. You've got 2 days worth of profits in one trade. That takes the pressure off then. I've come from this swing high to this swing high to this swing high. This is how that guerrilla trader guy does his trades, and he makes, you know, he risks a couple of things, but he makes a lot more money, and I'm a big believer in that. Once we get above this, we've got nothing stopping us really now. So what I'm going to do is bring it, say, to there. And we're getting to the top of this range now, so could still push out. I think it probably will do so. Let's secure something. Hopefully it'll just have a strong push in a minute. Let's put it there. Now push. Come on. You know you want it. One leg, two leg. Push up. I want to give it some room because there's no reason why it should stop until it gets up here. So I want to give it some room. I want to get at least $500 out of it if I can. Now push up above this. If there's anybody short there that looks like one leg, I want up here somewhere. Might just want a little bit back to the EMA before it goes a bit higher. I want it to come to the EMA a bit. Still moving up, see? Clearly moving up. There's no reason to stop this. It's a spike and a channel. I expect to comfortably get up here. I could double my profits, if not more. Tell you what, let's bring it to break even so I ain't lost anything then. Trouble is, you're going to lose the odd one, but you may get a decent amount of points out of them. Let's put it back to where I had it. It's clearly moving up. Yeah, it might, it might take me out. But I'm just trying to get more points. This ends up bullish. I'll bring it to break even and keep it there. Let's put it there now. It's just something I want to do, get more points out of a trade, because there are so much more points available, and at the moment we're in an uptrend, so I just want to try and take as much advantage. If the price is going up, and I take it up to swing highs and stuff, then hopefully it'll get me some better profits, and that way I don't need to take as many trades. If I leave it there at break even, I haven't risked anything now. I've not lost anything, guaranteed. But there's a second entry short, then that's probably going to capture some people. There's no reason. We had a spike and a channel. We've clearly got a channel working up, so there's no reason for it to not continue up. It may have a break of the channel, but then usually it will find a new high. The next bit of congestion is up here. So you would expect it to get up here somewhere. We've had this big strong push down, a little bit of sideways push up. We've come back in. We didn't get the close to the bottoms. We pushed up strongly, and now we've gone into a spiking channel. So it'd be nice to try and get 2 to 1. What did I risk? 2.5 points or something. We push up a bit higher, then I'll get me stop there. But there's no reason that it should stop at the moment. It's clearly going up. See how this one finishes, whether I drop it here or not. Okay. Now this might be a second entry long off here. A little tick below. I don't know, I'm risking it. But it just looks like one of those trends that could just slowly grind up. And sometimes they do come down a bit and you know, come to the bottom. But no, I don't really get stressed so much on evaluations. If it pushes up below here, then I'll drop less in here. Once we get above that top bar to the left, hopefully we should move a bit quicker. Okay, so I've guaranteed myself a couple of points there. Once we get above here, we should get a bit more movement then. See, it did this yesterday. Had like a triple test, came back to the EMA and then pushed up some more. Second entry long. So well, I compromise, I put it to break even, I'm not risking anything then. Why has it gone yellow? Possible second entry long. Let's see. Trouble is, if it's in an uptrend, you'd expect it to continue up, and in most cases it does. Possible second entry long. If it gets above here, there may be some shorts there. Thinking triple test. If it gets above there. Possibly a second entry long. I want to give it chance to bounce off here. Possible second entry long. Yeah, I'm not going wildly. It's just clearly moving up. So I wanted to try and give it as much a room as I can. Okay, let's put it there. I want to give it some space still. Clearly going up at the moment. I don't mind the break and a new high. Okay, stuffed. Okay, live and learn.
Order filled.
Okay, there you go. So, all right. To be fair, it just looked like it was continue going. A lot of the times it might have done, it might have got me 6 or 8 points, everything gone. Well, I'm down $150, so, oh well. It could have just, I mean, it could have just kept on going and I've lost $200 that time, but the next time it might have gone up 3 or 4 times. Honestly, you had so many chances to take profit. Poorly executed trade. Well, yeah. The thing is, it could have come down, bounced there, and pushed up higher, and I could have got 6, 8, 10 points. You just don't know. It's not. I wasn't gambling. It's not gambling. I took a trade, and I held on to it for as long as I thought I could. But no, it's not gambling, Tyler. Gambling would be just hitting the buy and sell button. The thing is, Yellen, oh, is he? If that had gone up and pushed up to 10, 12, 14 points, everyone would have said, oh, fair dues, oh, good trade, well held, well nerved. That, you know what I mean? You follow Jared Tendler? No, never heard of him, mate. Talking about being greedy. No, what it is I'm not talking about being greedy and trading too many contracts at once on a PA. That's what I was on about. It wasn't not, but the plan is to try and get more points. But you know, we all do our own thing to a degree, don't we? We take runners and stuff. But if, like I say, if it have a down 2 points, no, sorry, 1.5. I've lost 1.5 on that one. I could have been $500 richer, but I could have been more. You know what I mean? So. Thing is, if it had gone the other way, people would have been saying, "Oh, well done, you know, you held on to it, you held your nerve, well done, good on you, blah blah blah." And if it had given me 10 points, it would have given me 5 days profit in one. I didn't, Johnny. No. Now that looks better now. So yeah. I was aware that was the possibility that we could come back to there, but you know, hey, you live and learn. But you had to give. Well, you developed your own style. Not really. I do follow that. What's it guy a bit? The gorilla guy a bit, and it was 1.5 risk, and it could have given me maybe 10 points. And then people have been saying, you know what I mean, blah 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 blah. It is what it is. Yeah, let's focus on the next opportunity. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. Let's have a look. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Anyway, I'm back in a second, guys. Okay. Yeah, okay. Touch. We're definitely working off the bottom, aren't we? Okay. Yeah, Sam, you're probably right. But it just looked like an uptrend. I watch a lot of that gorilla guy because I like his style. And he did something similar and it came right down close to it and then carried on. In the end, they end up taking 32 points. I've seen him take lots of 20s, lots of. So the thing is, if it had gone up, if it had carried going up, you'd have got loads of, oh, well done, sticking your gun, it worked, blah, blah, blah. So you have to sort of do your own thing. And if something works, then you are going to lose a little bit more, but you know what I mean? So what I've decided to do is to go down to one contract on the PAs and try and run the trades a little bit longer. So I've got half the risk. Do you know what I mean? But I'm trying to just stay in them a bit longer. See, these are the places. Yeah, see, that was a two-tiered channel where I went in. Was it there, wasn't it? So unfortunately, we came back to the bigger channel, but it's one of those things. Finally figured out how to activate chat function. I've got it. But then, I mean, someone mentioned about the drawdown. If I make the next $650, drawdown goes back to zero. So it's only if I continue to lose another $1,800 or $1,850 is it a problem. I've never got that close to a drawdown unless I'm revenge trading and purposely taking stupid gambles. So it's a $150 loss. It might have given me 8 points. So, you know, it's a 1 to 5 risk. So even if I lose the next 4, you know, it's still play better off. So I just think there's way more points to get in the market. And yeah, some you're going to lose. So look, okay. Possible short trap. Yeah, watch some of the gorilla stuff. You'll be surprised. He put a trade in, like down here, and it came down a bit, came close, but carried on going up. And once it had a good swing up, he moved it up there. So many times I was going, I'd take my profits up, you run it for 32 points. So if you say you like, I tend to like, if you ask me what is my ideal goal for the day, be $300. He's got over 2 weeks profit in one trade there. So, okay, I might lose 3 or 4 of those. If I lost, say, 4 of those, what's that, $600? I've only got to get one of those right to be in profit. It's just that's how I want to start moving when I go on to PA, but I am going to reduce the contract size to 1, so I'd only risk $75 there. So, but yeah, you got people saying take profits. I should have taken profits, but you know, in hindsight, yeah. But if it had screamed up and gone up to where I thought it might do, you'd have got loads of backslapping, do you know what I mean? Saying you did well, blah, blah, blah. So it's one of those things, and you've got to do your own thing, really. Depends on the market to get the big runs. Well, it's clearly going up at the moment, isn't it? And there's nothing really to slow it down. So there's no reason why it's not going to get up here. Do you know what I mean? To this lot. So if I'd have sort of waited, where did I take down here? Yeah. You get up to here. I mean, you get up to the middle of there and you've got 12 points. That's 4.5 days profit in one trade. Yeah, but Pixel, the drawdown only comes into issue if I lost another $1,850. That would hit mine. But that drawdown now, because down stays. So when I go up $500 or $650, it stays where it is, doesn't it? Until I'm $2,500 behind it. It's my what's it anyway? Yeah, Chad. I'm just trying to go for more points. What I'm doing is when I get back to PA, I'm reducing the risk to 1. So on average, because I'm trading 2 contracts, I tend to panic around the 2 to 3 and take my trades. When I looked the other day and at my charts, at least 80% went for 6 points or more. So if I can just, because I'm risking less, I'm going to try and trade for more, maybe 4 to 6 points, which will give me the same sort of profit as trading for 2 contracts. Okay. Did you make a new high in your account with your last trade? A new high in your account? I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. See, I've got to adjust that, Chad, slightly, because obviously if we're in a range from here to here, I can't expect more points than from top to bottom, but we seem to be in a range at the moment. Now, I expect this fully to get up to here, maybe the tops. Now, at the time, I didn't notice that channel that somebody mentioned earlier just didn't look right. Obviously, now we've got a 2-tiered channel, so things are working a bit differently, but so you have taken up your draw. Yes, I have. But when I see, so now I've got to lose what? As I get profit now, I'll re-extend back to $2,500. So if I take it, let me have a look at my drawdown now. How big is your drawdown now? Let me have a look. What's a liquidate drawdown is a 4,800, sorry, 48.46. So 2,000, 48, 49. So yeah, basically $1,850. But if I make $300 in mine, that will extend and the drawdown won't move. I'm pretty sure that's right anyway. Yeah, I mean, what I should have done in hindsight was left it at break even. I just noticed that 85% of my trades went for 6 points or more. So that was my plan, to get to about 6 points, drop my stop in, and then whatever else it went up. So there's a possible, we got fail second entry long there. Obviously, I'm thinking about going higher still. But, what I'll do is I'll take a photo of my drawdown. Let me have a look. Take a picture of my drawdown. See if it changes after my next trade. Okay. Let's have a look. New low. Yeah, I think the ones to ride a bit further are the ones taken at the bottom of the range. I thought it was the bottom of the range. Obviously, we're in a 2-tiered channel, aren't we? See, Salvatore, I've never been taken out of an evaluation that I hit the drawdown unless I was revenge trading. In other words, I got back so far, I was just randomly jumping in. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Jay. So I'm risking less, which takes the pressure off. So I'll have the confidence to sit in and wait for a few more points. Because trading two contracts, I tend to panic, and my profits end up. What was that? My profits end up around about the $200 to $300 because I panic. And in some cases, like yesterday, I panicked and came out minus one tick, and the trade would have made. Now, if I was only risking one contract, I'd have the confidence to let the trade run how I should have done. So if I risk half the amount but go for twice as much profit, I should earn the same. I should build the same amount of speed of the account, but only risking half because, you know, by common sense, if you're risking half the amount, the pressure won't feel the same. And if 80% of mine go for 6 points or more, if you go for an average of 6 points, or jam, you're stopping it at 5.5, 6 points, and then anything else is a bonus. Yeah. If they're going after long stops, they've already taken these. So we got a new high there. Try to go on, try twice. Failed second entry short, but with the bottom of this channel. So yeah, see, Jay, I risked, there was a $150, so I'd have risked $75 there. And if I'd have got 6 points, I'd have got $300 profit for a $75 risk. That's a 1 to 4. That's a good amount. Absolutely. Typically, I would say one contract. I think a safe-ish bet is one contract per $5,000. So $5,000. Let's say 10,000. Let's say $5,000. So $500 is 10%, $50 is 1%. If you're risking 3%, which is a perfectly normal to trade. I know a lot of people that trade 3%, even trade in with things like currency where there's a lot less winners but more points. You'd be trading 3%, so maximum 3%. These are high probability trades, really. So if you know, obviously depends how you trade and whether you go for more points or you stick to your, you know. But see, Mac goes for a point, and the advocates go for a point. Now, I could have got 5 points off that, which would have been 5 times the. So you miss a couple, but then you get a 6 or an 8 point or more, and it more than makes up for them. So it's just something I want to try. Just risking half the amount, but going for the same amount of profit. Because I listened to that gorilla guy a lot, and he said, I don't mind getting taken out for 2 or 3 points. And he did. He left it in. I saw him do 3 trades in a row, and he lost 6 points. And then his third trade went for 9 points. So, you know, the trouble is, if you are going for more points, you are going to risk a little bit more. But the good thing is, if you can rather get a decent amount of profit on one trade. Let's adjust that to that. To that red one, say. Touches perfectly. Nicely on the top as well. So, get a higher, low, or a failure or something. And, yeah, it didn't cross my mind too much, the 2-tier channel. I thought it was more of a spike on a channel. because this lot was in the range. But obviously now it's come back a couple of times. You can draw a bigger channel. Trouble is, I'm guilty of drawing bigger channels too quick before they have a chance to develop. See, you're saying come back to take out the bull stops. There's a lot of shorts stuck here. You may have taken that one as a triple test, possibly. Second entry short, you may have taken that one. One of the lower highs, failures, you might have taken these. There's been a lot of traps as well there. A lot of short traps. And we're clearly bouncing off this line. We're clearly working up. So you'd think we would, we're sort of in this top tier. Now we've moved maybe in the bottom tier. Yeah, well, the 154 is right at the bottom of the channel. So if we can push up there and get a higher, lower, or failure above these stops, then I'd say we're continuing up then. See, I know some people might just take a small risk on that bar there. It's a point. So if you hold your stop there and drop your stop in, and put it down here, you're risking a point and a quarter. So you've more than got your money there. So. Yeah, unfortunately, this channel as well, it didn't go up very steep. It only went up from literally, let's say from here to the top. No, where did I take it from? It was here, wasn't it? Where did I take? It was here, wasn't it? Yeah, it went up about. Went up about 7.5 points. Interesting. There's going to be a hell of a lot of shorts in there, isn't there? Trouble is, it's definitely a channel of some sort which is a break, so it may just keep coming down. See, I'm not even a massive fan of this bigger channel. It just, I don't know, especially now this is happening. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, I don't think that's a channel now. That to me looked like a channel. It could have just, see, once it got above these, it could have just kept going higher quite quick of it. No, I don't agree with that. Every trade's not a 50-50 gamble. If it was a 50, if every trade was a 50-50 gamble, you'd be better off just gambling. You're better off going to a bookies. Every trade's not a 50-50. Because the market, if every trade's a 50-50, taking away your fees, you'd never make a penny. So it's not. The short was there. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, see, it depends what strategy you do. So a lot of people still scalp a 0.66 ticks. Get quite, I mean, a lot of guys that trade a point get 90-95% win rate. Yeah, I'd say 50-50 gamble if you don't have a strategy. You know, everything's 50-50, isn't it? If without a strategy, you flip a coin, you know, you gamble at cards. Well, obviously, probably a certain amount of skill at that, but you know what I'm saying. There's a second entry. It's got a new high there after this. Second entry short there. So, sorry, second entry long. Yeah, see, that just doesn't look right to me for some reason. Maybe as it is. If this is a break, then you would think it would push up and make a new high. But, You're short, are you? Trouble is, if this is a channel, then it is likely it could break and then push up and make a new high. So we got a higher low there. If that pushes up enough and starts eating some of these stops, 14 hours a day. 14 hours a day for 7 years, and you're only getting 50-50. I don't see how you... It's all 50-50. How can you make money 50-50? Once you take 50-50, you should come out break even, but then you got fees. You've done 14 hours a day. I did not start yesterday. No, I'm not saying, but 50-50. Is it? Yeah, see, I think we're going up again now. 50. If it's 50-50, I might as well just hit the buy or sell button and take a risk. It can't be 50-50. If you've been doing it 14 hours a day for 7 years and you're getting it 50-50, surely it's got to be at least 60-40 to make money. Yeah, see, it's going to eat through some stops. So if you took that short there, your stop's just been taken out. If you took that short there, your stop's just been taken out. If you took that lower high there, your stop's just been taken out. If you took that second entry short there, it's likely your stop's going to be taken out. So all these shorts turned in really then to... So that's why I can't bring myself to go short when the market's moving up. It can still come back to here and move up, so it can give you the impression that all these are good, you know, places to go short and stuff. But I suppose if you're only taking a... I mean, if you took that one there, you'd have got, what, 2.5 points out of it. But look, it's come back at a small breakout and pushing up. He's saying risk to reward ratios don't matter. Yeah. Yeah, it's just if you're saying it's all 50-50, it can't be. That's the whole idea of trading. You find a strategy which gives you an edge over the market. So that could be possibly a second entry short. There's a lot of traps around here. Yeah, I learned a lesson there, but I mean, it could have gone up and it could have given me 10, 12 points, and you know, people had been backslapping you saying, well done for holding on, but you know, it is what it is. The worst case scenario, I'm down $150. Yeah, strategies, you're right, Harjit. Strategies can fail, but that's the whole idea of having a strategy, so it's in your favour. If everything was 50-50, it's impossible to make money with fees. If you toss a coin 1,000 times, on average, it's going to land on heads 500 times. It's not in your favour, though. When tails 500 times, it has to be in your... That's the whole idea about having a strategy. You know, if the markets are going up, chances are in a trend, in a channel, chances are if you buy the market, it's going to work out in your favour way more than 50-50. That's just the way you said 50-50. Obviously, the decision, if you've got a strategy, will fall more in your favour. I think it's just the way you've explained it, bud, that's all. Yeah, it can go against you, but obviously, you've got a decent strategy and you're following it right. Obviously, it'll go a lot more in your favour. See, there is a failure there which is triggered, but it's just too far away from the MA. Yeah, I think it's just the way he's explained it, that's all. See, it did something like this the other day. I don't know if it was yesterday, the day before. It went up and there was almost like a triple test, and it came back a bit and went up, and I put an order. Do you remember? I put a 1 point order above there, and it hit the stops. So it's similar. The only difference is I got caught in the top tier of this bigger trend. That's all it is. I did consider going long there. For me, there were so many shorts in there ready to sort of to eat up. That's the thing. It's easy to get caught in shorts thinking it's coming down, blah, blah, blah. Somebody said something, the DXY or something. It's a downtrend now. A bull trend's over or whatever. But the bullish is over. But we've come down, bounced off here, broke it, and now we're pushing higher again. Eating up the stops. You know, they were saying coming down, eating up the bull stops. It's actually doing the opposite. Eating all the bear stops. I only wish I'd have jumped in here because I could have been up 4.5 points. So this is what I mean about an uptrend. If you can get into an uptrend and, you know, theoretically every time it comes down to here, it's going higher and higher with the exception of there. But if you came in down here, but I just thought that was the bottom of the trend. I didn't entertain because it wasn't valid enough for me to think about a larger trend at the time. That's my downfall. Sometimes I try and draw these too quick instead of concentrating on the smaller stuff. But it could have come down here and bounced and gone higher. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, it was a second entry long there, and there was quite a few short traps. I looked at it, but the trouble is, if I take a trade and something goes wrong, you can get a bit of an ear bashing off some of you lot on the stream. So I thought I'll leave that. When we got the higher low, I thought it was worth it, but I left it alone. So, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? Yeah, so really, it's just a push down. We had a break in a new low, and from then on, we've been uptrending. See if we can get a break and come down here a little bit, then I'll... Took the higher low. I looked at it, but it just broke below, and there is... Trouble is, if I'd have taken that one and it gone against me, I'd have got crucified, saying, we're clearly going down. That's the trouble, really. Sometimes when you read the chat, it affects your bias a bit, especially if you've just got taken out by that long I took. But, well. Yeah, someone mentioned about these. XY something's changed. The trend's over or something. Where was it? I can't think now. What it was. See, Harjit, you said, what was it? Okay, long stops on the way to 4143. Which 4143 is down here. So it didn't get nowhere near here. So really, my thoughts... Oh, I like that. I like that.
Order submitted.
Failure. Let me have a look. How's it going to finish? tell a lie. Let me enlarge it. Try to go lower once, try to go lower twice. Okay, no, it's not. Tell a lie. Possible second entry long. I mean, we'll clearly come back to this. We've had a break. We're pushing up. You'd expect to break the new highs. It's clearly been trending since 1 o'clock. What's it time? If we can get a second entry long here. There's a bunch of stops to eat up here as well. So. Yeah, so you've got to trade it how you see it. It's gone down once, pushed up, gone down again, pushed up. It's a second entry long, but this hasn't. I like it when they make the same. I'm still expecting to come up new highs after we've broken out that trend. Break higher. Come back and get me.
Order submitted.
Okay, see if we can get at least our money back. There is some stops up here. It's a second entry long. I'd have preferred that to tick here, but the EMA is still facing up, so we'll see. I'm just wondering whether we're going to get a bit of sideways here. I prefer to get above here. See, it is first entry, second entry. I'd have preferred that at the same level or lower, really. But it is slightly higher, and the EMA's facing up. We have had a break. You'd expect to make a new high. It's clearly been uptrending right since earlier on this morning. We've had a strong push up. I'd expect to break it, make a new high, or maybe have one leg and another leg. Yeah, my account balance is climbing, but the liquidation threshold is staying where it is. Getting a little bit sideways, isn't it? Okay, Sam, take it easy, bud. Needed to push above here. This trading thing is pretty tough. What are your thoughts? Yeah, absolutely. You've got that bang on, mate. Yeah, it is. It doesn't. I got to say, now evaluations at the moment don't stress me out because the only time I've ever blown accounts is when I was revenge traded. When I've just taken them day by day and done what I thought, I've passed accounts. You could call this a triple test, couldn't you? But they don't stress me now. Just take them and take them. So you'd think I'd learn really on the PA, but PAs are quite different to this, yeah. Just wondering if this is a bit of a downtrend and a break a new low. I don't know. It's hard to say. Soon find out. Could call that a triple test. They're not bearish though, apart from that one. It's as if they know exactly where your stops are going to be. Well, I'm not having a good day today.
Stop filled.
Okay, definitely not a good day. But I suppose on the upside, I'm down 375, so it's not the end of the world. Let me have a look. Do you know, a lot of the times I used to give it an extra tick because sometimes that would pull you out of it. Because a lot of the times it would tick down, see what it's done, tick down and then go up. There's a second entry long there. See how that finishes. A lot of times it tick you out and go up in the same direction that you thought. What time is it? Excuse me a sec, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. So you said it's not looking good for longs a bit ago, and then the shorts came in, and then they ate up all the shorts. Yeah, that bar really needed to be ideally below, but at least level. So I bent the rules and got stung there. See if I can redeem myself before the end of the day. I'm just not convinced now we are in this. Let me have a look. Get rid of this a minute. Let's see what Max give us if he's trading today. Yeah. Just see what Max give us. Yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced about this uptrend. Oh, okay. No mid-morning chart today. He sent you an email, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I know I was bending the rules then, but I thought push up. Where was it? There. We had an uptrend. Well, I think part of it expected a break and a new high, and I thought leg up. These stops continue up. Yeah, so I knew I was bending the rules there. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. Fortunately, the bars are less today. I've lost 2 trades and I'm only down 375, so it's not the end of the world. What was that? 7. Yeah, it's a 0.75. Yeah, we bend the rules sometimes, don't we? Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes we've been stung. I mean, I'm not convinced that is a channel. It looks more like a choppy range day to me. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe it is. It's hard to tell. It's not the... yeah, I'm not convinced that is a channel. See, my mistake was taking that one and letting it run and not taking the profit. I think I expected it to go a bit higher. Once it pushed above those, I'd have dropped my stop in, but oh well. It looks more like a choppy range day to me. Yeah, I don't think that is a channel. This just looks like a range. We've had a break, come back in, and then pushed up. Now we're in this top section of it. That's the trouble, really. And I took this second entry short here. It went up to, well, up here. But I didn't take profit because to me, I think someone mentioned about a bigger channel. Trouble is, once you start getting into these bigger channels, it just didn't look right to me. Well, it sort of works, but we had a break. But the trouble is, it can affect the way you take your trades. So yeah, in hindsight, when we'd have come to the tops of it, I'd have taken me profit, and I could have had what, $500. But I'm about to get brutalised by Daniel. He's just subscribed. I think you got to wait 5 minutes and you can comment. So I might quickly shut the stream before he comes on. Gives me an ear bashing. Yeah, this to me looks like a range. That looks like a range. Probably go a bit higher there. Let's have a look. Okay, breakout, pull back in, push higher. Yeah, it's almost like a 2-tiered. Bounced off the bottom. Could it go up? Yeah, I got that wrong with the... that's why I tend to not read a lot of the comments, because sometimes they'll go, there's a channel there, there's a channel there. And that may be the case, but if it doesn't look like, you've got to sort of make your own decisions and your own way of doing things. And sometimes I've got into the comments before. A guy made one, I don't know, 7 or 8 months ago, a few months ago, not long after I started trading, so it was uptrend. And then we had a break, and it was a higher low, and I took it, and it turned in, it wasn't. So I tend to ignore those a little bit. So I knew I was bending the rules there. Unfortunate at the time, I thought we were in an uptrend and we just had a break. We're clearly not at the moment, so I misjudged that one. But that's okay. It's a learning curve. It's all about learning, and I'm happy to make mistakes as long as I learn something from them. So this looks a lot better. Yeah, so it's bounced off there 4 times. Now we've got this short-term trend channel, so I didn't want to just go long off the bottom because just in case I misjudged something. There we go. You still trading, Pats? Yes, I am, mate. But all I do now, slightly different, is just swing for a few more points. I tend to swing my whole trade. And in most cases, I tend to average around the 3 to 4 point mark. I did think that there was a larger channel here, which I'm not convinced there is. It sort of fits, but and I did take a second entry long off here, and I just stayed with it as it went up, and I let it come down. I thought it was going to bounce and go a bit higher, so I could have got like $500, but I chose to leave it, and I ended up losing it. But I'm not convinced that is a. But yeah, I am doing Pats, but just with more points. That's all, and it tends to work out okay. See, I've worked out that 85% of my winning trades, I take the good trades, make 6 points or more. So I tend to try and swing them a little bit. But at the time I took that one, it looked like a sort of a second entry long, but I knew that bar should have been a little bit lower. And at the time I got this uptrend, which is why I took that. And got stung. Fortunately, the ATR is quite low today, so risks have been quite low. Yeah, the midline of that bigger channel looked valid. If you base it off the midline and all the touch at the top. You're on about the bigger channel. Read that again. The midline of the bigger channel looked valid. Yeah, see, I had that. I had it about there, I think, and it was touching. Yeah, it looked all right there. It kind of fits, and it might just be like a bit of sideways, a push up and a bit of sideways, but I took, because I had that channel, and what I did is I took a second entry long off here. It was like a visual second entry, 2 pushes down, and it went up and it carried on. And it seemed like we were in an uptrend, so when we're in an uptrend, I try and hold on to them a bit longer, and I think it got up to about 6 points, or 5.5, 6 points, something like that. And it came back down. I thought there's going to be some shorts in there. It came back down. I was hoping it was going to bounce in, push it. When it pushed above these, where I'd expected some shorts, I was just going to drop the stop in and secure myself maybe 7, 8 points, something. But for me, there was no reason for it to slow down up until it got to this area here, which is why. And it backfired on me, and I lost a point and a half, so it wasn't the end of the world. But I do watch a lot of that gorilla guy who trades the same style, but he swing trades everything, and he goes for a minimum of 6 points, and it works well. So unfortunately, we had that bit of a break as well. It pushed up in that short trend. We had sort of 2 legs back, well, a second entry long, but that bar, I knew I was bending the rules a bit. That bar ideally wanted to be at least level with that or lower, and I took it, and I thought I might get lucky, and I should have known better, really. Yeah, if you had a bigger channel, remember all channels go from one side. Yeah, see, at the time I didn't have that there. We'd had sort of a bit of a range. We'd broken out, come back in, and it obviously it's going slightly higher. So I thought we pushed up. Then I thought this to me looked like a bit of a spiking channel. I suppose it was to a degree, but it came down a couple of times. And for me, it's a nice area to take a short there. Now, you might say it's technically not because you got a high and a dip and a high there, but to me that was two legs. The first bar, obviously I put my order there and it didn't trigger and it came down again and pushed up again. So 3 times it pushed up. I thought that, let me bring this in a bit. I thought that we got a high, try to go once, try to go twice. I thought there'll be some shorts trapped there. So I thought if I get 2 bullish pushes up and we can get above here, I thought we're good. And it went up and came down and it went up again and went up again. And I could have taken about $600 profit at the time. But I wanted to try and get up closer to here. And then just once we got above those, I thought there's going to be some shorts in there. And if we can bounce and get above these, we might have a quick push and then I'd have dropped my stop in there and maybe got maybe $700, $800 or something. And for me, that's 3 or 4 days profit in one trade. So I just see so much more profit left on the table. And yeah, you are going to lose a few more trades, but with the amount of profit, you know, a lot of people are still taking 1.5, 2 points. If that had gone up and I'd have got 8 or 9 points out of it, that would have given me 3 trades worth of profits. You know what I mean? That last trade, you got to watch out for that pattern. 2 calls and it doesn't even look like 2 legs. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And you took a second entry, congested. I knew exactly. The trouble is, people think sometimes, oh, you're inexperienced, you didn't do that. I knew exactly what I was doing there. I knew it was slightly risky. But because I'd had that channel, you know, the trend's your friend and all that, and after the one loss, sometimes you bend it a little bit too more, don't you? But I knew that bar really, if that bar would have been down to about here and the head of it sat there, then that would have been perfect for me. But I knew it was bending it, and I do this sometimes. I let that, you know, sort of that eager to jump in, get the better of me sometimes. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the beauty about going up and getting 3 or 4 points is I'm usually averaging over 1 to 1. So 1 loss is corrected by 1 win. But yeah, I know sometimes my patience. I think what it was is I let that ride and it went up and up and up, and I thought it was going to push and I'd have picked up maybe 8, 9, 10 points. And it came down and I got crucified by some of the guys on the stream, and rightly so. But if it would have gone up and I'd have got 8, 10, 12 points, you'd have got loads of backslapping, you know. So it swings and roundabouts. Sometimes they work, and I know. Sometimes I'll get into trades and people might think I don't know what I'm doing, and I know exactly I was bending the rules there. But it was that urge to jump in, so people might think, oh, it's not a second entry. It sort of is, but the signal bar isn't where it should be, really. You know, it should be down here at least longer than this, and ideally, you know, sat something like that, push up, you know, that to me is a beautiful place to take a bar, obviously a bit congested, but you know what I'm saying. But I knew exactly what I was doing there. I knew it was a, you know, a possible setup, but it didn't finish right, and I thought I might get away with it. But that's something I've just got to get under control a little bit. But I appreciate your comments, mate. You know I've always appreciated your comments. And Nick talks about you all the time. I've had a couple of chats to Nick off stream. And he's helped me out as well with a few, just a little liveness, get back into, you know, market's pretty slow and how it was pre-COVID, and it might stay like this for who knows how long. Yeah. So you've got to be more precise. Yeah, I know I have, mate. I've got to be a bit more strict. I know I have. You know, sometimes when you're eager to make money and get a score on the board, and yeah, I need to hold back. Because the annoying thing is, whenever you get these setups, smart traders know exactly what's happening, don't they? And they know exactly where to push your stop to and take your stop. See, there is a trend channel break. There's a second entry short there, but it's congested, so I know to stay out of that. the frustrating thing is whenever you see these and you stay out, they all bloody work. So that's the thing that drag you in. Wake Up Mags. The thing about that gorilla trader is he charges $100 a month or $99 a month. I'll find one for you, mate. I'll find one for you. I've got no issues with. But he does charge $100 a month. But if you're learning something, see what it's down again today. Moo Trades is down $3,000 today. He's not done too bad lately. Gorilla guy. Hold on a minute. I'll find him for you. He trades pats, but he swings all his trades, and I don't think he takes. I don't think he takes less than 6 points. But I watched him in a trade a couple of months ago. I can't find it now. I watched him in a trade a couple of months ago, and he did something similar to this. And he let it go. And once it got so far, he moved his stop, and he moved his stop, and he moved his stop, and he moved his stop. And there was a couple of times I thought I'd have got out there, and he ended up taking it up and got 32 points out of it, which for me would be about 2 weeks. 2 weeks profit. So I like his style. I like, his policy is get as much as you. It doesn't matter sort of how many losses you take. It's about how much profit you make on your winners, and he always gives that speech of sticking with your winners, squeezing as much points out. And yeah, he said he's got no problems with losing. Sometimes it'll go up 4 or 5 points and come down and stop him out. He hasn't got a problem with that because his bigger winners way out. So I'm scrumming to find him. I can't find it now. Oh, it's just called Gorilla Price Action. Gorilla Price Action. Watch some of his videos, and that'll give you a feel for how he trades. I feel that you're just gonna have the mindset you were doing this as a hobby, and you want to do it. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, mate. I'm my own worst enemy sometimes, but I've had a bunch of PA accounts. I did get a payment. But I've just done a bit of soul searching, and what I'm doing is I've got 3 evaluations. I don't have a problem in passing evaluations. I can pass them most of the time now because they don't stress me out. The PAs do. So what I'm doing is reducing my risk on the PAs down to just 1 contract. And what I'm doing, I'm using 3, and I'm going to trade 2 one day and 2 the next. So I'm alternating one of them. So it's just spread the risk a bit, takes the sting out of it. So hopefully it shouldn't, obviously the more you risk, the more stress sort of involved. But I know how to trade. I'm confident I know what a good trade is. I've been trading long enough, and I've put enough hours and hours and hours in. I changed my job to work weekends so I can trade full time. So I know good trades. But I do have sometimes that urge to get in on one that doesn't form perfect that I know I shouldn't do really, but that's just something I got to try and chip out of myself. 100 a month. It would pay that. Excuse me. Well, if he's trading live, and he trades live on Zoom so you can watch him real time, and if you go to take a trade that he doesn't, you might save yourself that in one trade, or you might make yourself in one trade. So if he's just aiding your decision or giving you the confidence to go for more points, you'll make $100 back in one trade. So if you're the type of person that wants to swing a little bit more and get a bit more out of a trade, okay, there's a failure there. Another bar which looks like it's put, but it's just congested there. And if we are in this range, there's not much room to the tops, and you might argue that top is reduced to here. So yeah, we've sort of come up to the tops. We've pushed down, and it's more ranging in this area. So you've got no room now. A lot of these YouTubers make more from subscriptions and sales than actually trading. Yeah, I do at the moment, mate. That enables me with what I get from the Apex. What I get from Apex enables me to. I just work weekends, Saturday, Sundays, and trade full time. So it enables me to do that. But my goal and my dream I've had for the last couple of years is to trade full time, consistently profitable. I absolutely believe I will be. I've just got to iron out these emotions that get me to jump in a little bit prematurely. But I'm working on my psychology a bit now. I'm getting into meditation and that, and hopefully would reduce having 3 peer accounts instead of one at a time where all your eggs in one basket. Having 3, I can divide them up so I can alternate days. So I'm spreading the risk and I'm reducing the contract, because I've always traded 2 contracts. I'm reducing down to 1 contract. So that gives me, as opposed to 6 trades in a row blowing an account, it gives me obviously double that. So hopefully the combination of a few PAs, so I'm not risking just one, and the reduced contract size should take the sting out the tail and hopefully get me back on the straight and narrow a bit. 10 change above 4159 candle, and I'm going long. Yeah, I can't go long at the moment because we're going sideways really. No, I did think there may be a channel, and there may be. And this might be a break, but go a bit higher, another break. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily make a new high. If it's first break, it might take a second break, but it might not. So I think it's probably wiser to trade it as we're ranging at the moment, and obviously once, twice, 3, 4 times it's coming up. So I can't bring myself to go long. Now I see patterns like this quite a lot. You'll have a push up, a little bit of sideways, like a bull flag, push up, a little bit sideways, and then another push up. And it might do that, but it's congested to hell, and it has been bouncing off these. So as Daniel's watching me, I'm going to try and play by the rules. And it's just a bit of a dodgy place to go long, really, especially when prices haven't broken above here yet. Yeah, God forbid. Been copying the guy straight for 2 years and trade full time. Yeah. Yeah, when he dies, you're screwed. There is that, isn't there? That's the dangerous thing. Now, if I watched him, it would probably just to use his experience in confident on trading, swing trading. Now, quite a lot of times he's taken trades. So if we say have a couple of legs down here, he's taken a trade maybe here, quite a bit off the bottom, and I've said I wouldn't take that. And it's triggered, and he's come down and stopped him out. And he did the same again, came a bit lower. And I said to myself, I wouldn't take that. And it went, triggered him and stopped him. And then it came right down, came down below and closed like that. And he took that the 3rd time. Now, I would have taken that one. And what happened? It pushed up and he got 14 points out of it. So it clearly made up for his 2 losses. And so I know if he takes a trade, whether I think it's too risky for me, but all I would use him for is his confidence and experience in knowing how to swing trade, because he seems to know how to swing trade really well. So really, just got 1 trade today, so about hop off. But good luck. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate it, mate. I'm here for 5 days a week, mate. So if you want to stop by, Nick's are usually around somewhere. But yeah, a bit of company. If you need any help or advice. No, but come back anytime, mate. I've always appreciated you. You know that. I've asked you. I always used to swing my trade. I always appreciate your comments, and I message you if I needed any help. And I went from 1 point to 2 points looking at your charts, because I looked at your charts back when you posted regularly and looked back on 2 weeks. And I think you marked about 30 odd trades, and every single one of them made more than 2 points. So that's how I started growing from a point. But I appreciate it, mate. I appreciate your comments. Take it easy, mate. Have a good day. Nick's probably hiding now. What time is it? Oh, it's 3 hours actually. I'm coming up to my limit really. And I know I'm down a bit today, but I'm all right with that. Doesn't really bother me on a evaluation anymore. It used to. But yeah, somebody mentioned about long. You see that pattern all the time. Push up, looks like a bull flag, and pushes up about the same distance. But it's not the most visually attractive place to go long, although it looked like it was going to go long. But the context for me said there's a barrier there, so be careful. And if there's not a barrier there, there's certainly one there, and it definitely looks like it's ranging for me. So it may break above there and come down. So if I went there long now, my arse would be twitching like a good one. Go for 6 ticks now. Makes a massive difference. You just up your profit there by 50%. Makes a massive difference. Even those extra 2 ticks from 4 ticks, it's an extra 50% profit. So it's a world of difference. And I bet it's rare. I bet you notice it's rare. A trade only makes a point, not 6 ticks. So, you know, when I went up to 2 points, 98% of trades were still winners. Would make 2 points, and I was doubling my profit effectively. So it was a no-brainer for me to go up. But obviously Max does 1 point, but I think he makes most of his money off his swing trades because obviously he's very experienced when it comes to running trades, and obviously I think the scalp for him is just, you know, his wage or his pocket money type thing, and his big earners are when he obviously manages to, you know, to follow him up. He'll know where he's not used to looking at these markets. He'll know exactly where to put them up. But yeah, take it easy, Daniel. I appreciate your comments, mate. I'm here 5 days a week, plugging away. That was like watching a teenage girl. Is that what it was? I think Daniel, there's 2 guys I followed a lot because they were the most experienced traders in the group, were Daniel and Marco. So anybody that's ever spent any time to give me any compliments, give me any advice or help me, I respect and appreciate it. And I was struggling about, I don't know, maybe 14, 16 months ago, something like that. And Daniel sent me a message saying, you're pattern hunting. You're not thinking about the context. So I was taking second entry shorts in an uptrend. And it's just the way he worded it and said something. It just stuck in my head, and that helped develop my trading better. So anybody that's given me time, like I've said, and I've said this before, anytime people want to message me, newer guys, less experienced guys that may want any questions, if I could help them or pass them on, I'm happy to do it. Because I've had loads of help from people, and this is something that's hopefully going to change my life and my family's life. So, but yeah, I probably have got a man crush. But no, I got a lot of time for people who have taken the time to give me help and advice. You know, this is a tough journey, and you can really beat yourself up. But people who've taken the time to help me out, then I've got the utmost respect for. In fact, I think Daniel watched my stream maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and I had an awful day, took really poor trades, and he sent me a message at the end of the day saying, you look like you're really struggling there, you're taking bad trades. And I felt more hurt that the fact that he was watching the stream than the money I'd lost. So, you know, people who've helped me out, I got a lot of time and a lot of respect for. So there you go. But yeah, I probably was like a teenager. See, I'm not convinced about this. I need to take a break. Yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. I probably got a bit starry-eyed there, didn't I? But to be fair, it's the first time I've heard him speak on the stream. So the fact that he's taken the time to come on here and subscribe. See that? Although it does look like 2T, it's clearly working up. So, I mean, now we're above this. It's an attractive target. That there's almost definitely going to be some shorts there, isn't there? Certainly there. I mean, once you've hit that twice, that's a triple test, isn't it? Now, whether you sort of buy here and expect to run it down here and you hold it on for maybe a retest, I don't know. Yeah, I did look at that, but the failure was there and it was a bit congested. But when we had that bar there with the EMA facing up, that did look quite attractive, but I've still got this top in mind. You could get stung, but so I'm not. I mean, now it's there. It's looking more like a two-tiered, isn't it? Because we worked up here, we came down, and we've been working in this area now, haven't we? But we had a bit of a break there, and we didn't make a new high and another break, so that's what got me thinking about getting rid of this and thinking, oh, hold on a minute, that probably looks, if Mac had his chart, I'm pretty sure people like Marco would probably have his like that. He doesn't jump in too much with the, so we've broken above that now. He doesn't tend to jump in too much with the larger trends too earlier in the game, and I think I've been guilty of that. And sometimes if you start marking these channels too early, they can affect your bias. Okay, so okay, so that, in fact, that can come lower. Actually, let's just put it from there for now. We've hit that to the nearest tick. Let's have that. Yeah. Okay, so that, I did mention that earlier, like a bull flag push up, sideways another push up, but these tops and those tops concern me a bit. But it's played out, that has. So now, that's played out, would you fade this in? Because really, would you fade that in? We've had two perfect legs. It's stalling here. Would you ride this back to the tops? Did he sound like you? It's quite hard when someone's typing words, isn't it? So we made a new high. That's one leg, two legs. Now, it's clearly struggling here, isn't it? So would you ride this back to the EMA? Class it as a failed breakout? Because it's clearly ranging. I think if I'm going to bring it in, it really needs to be a lower high, doesn't it? What's the bar? 6 ticks. Yeah, let's wait for a lower high, really. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, to me, take away everything else, this is clearly ranging. Clearly. And this is ranging. It's a little bit bouncing, unpredictable. It's ranging. But at the moment, ever since around about, where are we now? About 2.5 hours, it's been going sideways. But it has got a bit of an upward motion to it, isn't it? I'm just wondering whether this will fit something like this, does it? So hard to say, really, isn't it? It's not the clearest of days. Could be like a bit of a spike in channel, couldn't it? It's touch, 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 touch. In fact, it doesn't fit nice at the top, does it? But if this is a bit of a break and a new high, so I don't know. Just for now, I know it's moving up slowly, but I'm just going to leave it like that. Because if this is a trend, we're getting close to the top of the channel now, and it's a less attractive place to buy. There's a lot of congestion coming in now, isn't there? So it's going to struggle a bit. But yeah, see, I was hoping it was going to do that and push up strongly to this areas. And if it had done, where did I trade? Where was it? Here, wasn't it? If I had it done, I could have got myself maybe 8 or 10 points or something. Oh well. Now that looks like it's not going to stop, doesn't it? Yeah, so that tells me that there is likely a... okay, that actually doesn't work too bad, does it? So we're right, if it is a channel, we're right at the top of it there. And if it is a break out of this range, you would expect to bring it in. So you at least expect to get that bar to come down to the tops here, or at least the EMA. I have seen people who short them. In fact, there was a trend going up, and I saw Marco short right at the top of the trend, and I think we went for 1.5 or something. It worked perfectly, and it's actually relatively straightforward, isn't it? Right at the top of a trend, what's likely to happen? We get to the top of the trend, we come down. Get to the top of a trend, we come down. Get to the top of the trend, we come down. So if you're only scalping 6 ticks, you ain't got to come down far, have you? Granted, he did it on a more bullish, on a more bearish bar than that. But if you're taking 6 ticks, there you go. You're out. But I've learned some things today. See, I can make that back in a trade tomorrow. It's not a major concern, and it doesn't stress me on evaluations. When I take evaluations on their own, I always pass them. It's when I take evaluations that are trade copied from a PA account that they tend to get blown. So, you know, I have a couple of wins or a nice win tomorrow. I can soon blow the dust off that. But yeah, that one there, misjudged that one. I mean, it might have gone well. It could have pushed up like that. But at the time, I didn't think that there might be a channel. It wasn't nothing clear anyway. So you live and learn. But I don't look upon it as I lost $500. I look upon it as I lost $150. Next time around, it could be a very different story. Could have had a push up, a little bit of a bull flag, another push up. I could have been taking profits up here. But you know, I've watched that gorilla guy lose 3 and 4 points in a trade, but then you see him win 15. So if you're prepared to go for a few more points, which that's the plan on a PA account, I'm risking half the amount, so I'm going to try and swing for a few more. Then I'm just sort of, you know, testing it, the confidence level out and doing it here. I'm going to have to finish in a minute. Yeah, I should have known better there. I knew what I was doing. I knew it wasn't a brilliant setup. But oh well. I need to focus a bit more and just avoid the obvious. So it'd be interesting to see what this happens. Whereas if we get, will it do push up, make a new high, which tells me then we are definitely uptrending, or would it break and come back in, which tells me this is just a range. Yeah, 10 change, yeah. Close your eyes. Sometimes I wonder whether you'd have just as much luck doing that. Closing your eyes. Okay, so we've had this channel up here, perfectly clear. We've had a break of it. EMA's facing up, it's gone a bit flat. But we have been respecting these highs and these lows. So this could just be so many times I've gone long here. And what's happened, it's triggered me and come back into the range. So it's hard to know whether this is really a range or a channel. I'd say the safest bet is to treat it as a channel, I think. No. So I'm just going to let this one go and see what happens, and then I'm going to close it for the day then. Come back tomorrow, but I've got to say, after losing 2 trades, that's all I am down. It's not affecting me. So I think when I mean, we are on evaluation anyway, but when I reduce it on a PA account, it's not really going to cripple me, that, a loss in a day. And someone told me never lose more in a day than you can't make in the following day. So now let's see if this traps any people going long. I'm out. Yeah, take it easy, Indy. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your comments. Yeah, it depends if you want to be risky, see. Could take a risky trade and go long here, but trouble is, we're not far from the, what's it, are we? Nah, sorry. I'll tell you what, I'm going to finish for the day, actually. I've done enough damage. Well, that's slight. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. I'm going to leave it at that, I think. So I appreciate you guys hooking up me and having a bit of a nice chin wag all day. So I'm going to call it a day. So I'll be back here same time tomorrow. Don't forget that 90% off discount finishes at midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. So it will go back up to the 50%. How long before it comes down to 80%? I wouldn't have thought long, but they are nice and cheap at the moment. And my code's there. If you use it or you have used it, it's much appreciated. So have a good one. Yeah, take it easy, and I will catch up with you all same time tomorrow.